The gym is supposed to be about getting stronger, but for some people it's about filing complaints when reality doesn't adjust to their expectations. These aren't jokes or exaggerations. They're real gym complaints from people who truly believe the rules of the universe should bend because they pay monthly. Here are 69 of the most absurd gym membership complaints ever filed. 1. You go to a gym to sweat, right? Well, apparently not everyone got that memo. A manager at a high-end fitness club shared a story about a woman who filed a formal complaint against the man on the treadmill next to her. Her grievance wasn't that he was rude or smelly, but that he was sweating too profusely, and it was visually assaulting her workout experience. She genuinely wanted the gym to treat sweat like a controllable setting, as if the human body comes with a mute button labeled light mist. 2. We have all seen people who grunt a little too loud when lifting heavy weights, but this complaint takes sound sensitivity to a whole new level. A member approached the front desk in a rage because the sound of metal plates clanking together was giving him a headache. He seriously suggested the gym wrap all the metal plates in velvet to dampen the noise so he could exercise in total silence. He basically wanted a gym that sounded like a library where muscles politely whisper. 3. Mirrors are a standard part of any gym so you can check your form. But one member was convinced there was a conspiracy afoot. This guy stormed into the manager's office demanding a full refund for his annual membership because he claimed the gym had installed funhouse mirrors designed to make him look wider than he actually was. According to him, the mirrors were the problem, not the pizza, the beer, or the fact that gravity has been undefeated his entire life. And yes, every single one of these people pays the same monthly fee as everyone else. 4. Then there is the case of the instructor who was simply too good at her job. A gym member left a 1-star review and a long written complaint about a spin class instructor who had offensive levels of energy at 6 in the morning. The member stated that the instructor's relentless smiling and shouting of motivational quotes was a form of toxic positivity that made her feel bad about her own misery. She didn't want motivation. She wanted silence, darkness, and the emotional energy of a funeral. 5. A young man filed a complaint that sounds like it came straight from a sitcom. He was upset that the gym did not have a no eye contact policy enforced by the staff. He claimed that while he was doing squats, another member looked at him for approximately 3 seconds, which he interpreted as an act of aggression. His dream gym was basically a sensory deprivation tank with dumbbells. 6. You know exactly who this guy is. We all know that gym contracts can be difficult to cancel, but sometimes the members make it way harder than it needs to be. One customer service rep shared that a guy called the police to the gym because the front desk refused to cancel his membership. The reason they refused? He wasn't the one with the membership. He didn't want a refund. He wanted the gym to stop his girlfriend from upgrading herself without his permission. 7. Hydration is key, but one member found the water fountain to be a serious health hazard. This person filled out a comment card stating that the water coming out of the fountain was aggressively cold and caused them a brain freeze that lasted for several minutes. They argued that the gym was liable for their temporary suffering and demanded the gym install a special, emotionally safe water fountain for adults who fear cold liquids. 8. A powerlifter got into a heated argument with the gym staff, insisting that their weights were false advertising. He claimed that the 45-pound plates at this specific gym felt significantly heavier than the 45-pound plates in his garage. He actually brought a digital kitchen scale to the gym floor to weigh the plates in front of everyone. Turns out the only thing heavier in that gym was his ego hitting the floor. 9. Locker room etiquette is a delicate subject, especially when it involves nudity. A 20-year-old member filed a complaint about the excessive comfort of the older generation. He wasn't complaining about anything illegal, but rather that the older men were just standing around naked for too long, having casual conversations about the stock market while air drying. He requested the gym implement a strict 30-second nudity cap, meaning the gym should run the locker room like a nudity speed challenge with a stopwatch. 10. Most people join a gym to lose weight, But one customer was furious that the gym was not helping him gain it fast enough in the most absurd way possible. He complained that unlike their competitor, this gym did not offer pizza Fridays or bagel mornings. He argued that working out made him extremely hungry, and by not providing immediate high-calorie carbohydrates post-workout, the gym was technically starving him. In his mind, 10 minutes on the elliptical legally entitled him to carbs, cheese, and zero personal responsibility. 11. Intimidation is a common barrier to fitness, but one woman took her insecurity to the management office with a clipboard. She filed a complaint stating that the gym allowed too many visibly fit people on the floor at peak hours. She argued that seeing people with six-pack abs was a form of passive-aggressive bullying against those who enjoy carbs. She actually requested the gym implement ugly hours, where attractive people were banned so she could elliptical in peace without feeling judged by other people's genetics. 12. One member filed a formal complaint after the gym's in-body scanner told him his body fat percentage was higher than he felt spiritually. He insisted the machine was biased against people with dense muscles and demanded staff recalibrate it using his own progress photos as a reference. He claimed the scanner was sabotaging his confidence to sell more training packages, like a scale with a personal vendetta. 13. Tell me you haven't met this guy. A member lodged a formal complaint about the parking situation, but not because there were no spots available. He was angry that the closest parking spots to the entrance were full, forcing him to walk 100 yards to the door. He called this excessive cardio before his workout and claimed it would deplete his energy reserves for lifting. He literally drove to a place to exercise, then complained about having to use his legs to get there. 14. The sauna is for relaxation, but one man treated it like his personal kitchen. Other members complained after he brought a foil-wrapped burrito into the steam room and placed it on the heater rocks. When staff confronted him, he was genuinely confused, arguing that he was just trying to multitask his meal prep while sweating out toxins. He essentially wanted to sous vide his lunch and himself at the same time. 15. Forgetting your headphones is a tragedy, but most of us just deal with it. However, one young woman decided her lack of preparation was the gym's emergency. She demanded the front desk plug her phone into the main sound system and play her breakup playlist because she literally could not work out to the upbeat house music they were playing. When they refused, she asked for a refund for emotional distress caused by listening to generic pop music. 16. A middle-aged man was furious that a personal trainer had the audacity to stop him from hurting himself. The trainer had gently stepped in to correct the man's deadlift form because his spine looked like a question mark. The man filed a grievance saying he didn't pay for training, so the advice was unsolicited product placement and an invasion of his privacy. He wanted the right to slip a disc without professional interference. 17. Air conditioning wars are real, but this complaint defies the laws of physics. A lady complained that the AC fans were positioned directly above the treadmills, which she claimed was blowing the sweat back into her pores. She insisted this prevented her from detoxing properly and was actually making her gain weight during the run. She wanted the gym to turn off the AC in July so her sweat could flow freely, according to her misunderstood biology. 18. Some people take functional training too seriously. A guy was asked to leave for working out in denim jeans and heavy work boots, which were tearing up the leather benches. He filed a complaint claiming discrimination against his street fight readiness program. He argued that muggers don't wait for you to put on spandex, so he needed to train in his natural habitat. He wasn't training for fitness, he was training for a bar brawl in 1995. 19. A guy emailed corporate in a full-blown meltdown because the locker room showers had too much steam. He claimed the humidity was ruining his hair, fogging his Apple Watch, and turning his post-workout routine into a tropical hostage situation. He demanded the gym install a ventilation system that would keep the air crisply dry at all times. He wanted spa perks, but only the parts that didn't touch reality. 20. A woman on the treadmill called the manager over, convinced that the machine was gaslighting her. She claimed that a mile on the gym treadmill was significantly longer than a mile in her car. She had been counting her steps in her head and was certain the machine was padding the stats to make her run longer than necessary. She demanded the machine be taken out of service and interrogated for lying. 21. Most people hate the lunk alarm, but one guy complained that the gym was too quiet. He was a powerlifter at a commercial gym who felt the silence was low T and draining his strength. He requested that the staff play pre-recorded sounds of men screaming and weights slamming over the speakers to boost the testosterone in the room. He wanted the ambiance of a prison riots to help him hit a bench press PR. 22. Lost and found is usually a courtesy, but one member treated it like a crime scene investigation. He lost a generic plastic water bottle, value maybe $5, and demanded the gym pull security footage from the last 3 weeks to track it down. He refused to accept that he might have left it in his car, insisting a hydration thief was on the loose. He wanted a full forensic team deployed for a piece of Tupperware. 23. Breakups are hard, but this girl tried to use the membership agreement as a restraining order. She demanded the gym cancel her ex-boyfriend's membership because seeing him working out raised her heart rate to unsafe levels. She even tried to present a doctor's note that vaguely mentioned stress, arguing that the gym had a duty of care to remove her emotional triggers. She was effectively allergic to her own bad romantic decisions. 24. Distractions are everywhere, but one man blamed the gym's television selection for his lack of progress. He filed a formal grievance because the bank of TVs in front of the cardio machines was tuned to the Food Network. He claimed that watching high-definition footage of slow-cooked brisket while running was mental entrapment that forced him to cheat on his diet immediately after leaving. He wanted the gym to be liable for the tacos he inhaled in the parking lot. 25. Circuit training is great, but the circuit guy is a nightmare for everyone else. A member complained to management that the staff wasn't protecting his equipment while he rotated through 5 different machines at once. He had marked his territory with water bottles and towels across half the gym floor and was furious that someone dared to use the leg press while he was doing push-ups 40 feet away. He thought a sweaty towel was a legally binding property deed. 26. A woman complained that the gym smelled too chemically, which is ironic, considering the alternative is usually stale sweat and despair. She was upset that the cleaning staff used industrial disinfectant on the equipment instead of natural, plant-based alternatives. She argued that the smell of bleach disrupted her chakras and demanded they switch to lavender essential oils in the spray bottles. She treated the squat rack like a holistic aromatherapy spa. 27. Tell me you haven't seen this happen. A guy threatened to cancel his contract because the gym's Wi-Fi wasn't fast enough to stream Netflix in 4K resolution. He wasn't complaining about the weights or the machines. He was mad that his video kept buffering during his leisurely 20-minute cycle. He wasn't there to pedal. He was there to binge-watch. The office with a light sweat. 28. Dedication is admirable, but this bodybuilder had zero chill. He filed a complaint because the gym closed for 12 hours on Christmas Day. He claimed that missing his scheduled chest day would cause him to lose critical muscle mass and set his progress back by months. He genuinely believed his biceps would deflate like balloons if he missed a single session. 29. Yoga was supposed to be calming, but one woman filed a complaint because the instructor used the word inhale too many times. She claimed the constant breathing cues were triggering and made her feel like she was being micromanaged by oxygen. She requested a silent yoga class where the teacher communicates only through vibes and gentle hand gestures. She wanted enlightenment, but with subtitles. 30. Temptation didn't come from candy for one member, it came from the mirrors. He complained that the gym's mirrors were too flattering, which made him stay longer taking photos instead of leaving on time. He argued the lighting and angles were basically enabling narcissism and demanded the gym switch to harsh fluorescent lights so he could stop getting distracted by his own progress. He wanted the gym to protect him from himself. 31. You know exactly who this is. A guy filed a harassment complaint against another member who asked him to get off the leg press. The twist? The complainer had been sitting on the machine for 15 minutes, just scrolling through Instagram without doing a single rep. When the staff sided with the person who actually wanted to work out, the guy stormed out screaming about his rights. He thought sitting on a machine constituted active use as long as his butt was touching leather. 32. Scenery can make a run easier, but this lady had unrealistic architectural expectations. She complained that the row of treadmills faced the parking lot, and looking at her own 2005 Honda Civic was depressing her performance. She demanded the gym install mural-sized photos of a tropical beach or a forest over the windows to trick her brain. She expected her $20 membership to include a panoramic view of the Swiss Alps. 33. A man requested a new personal trainer, not because the current one was bad, but because his voice was too nasally. He claimed that the trainer's pitch threw off his lifting rhythm and made him feel weaker during bench presses. He insisted he needed a trainer with a deep baritone voice to properly activate his testosterone. He basically wanted a spotter who sounded like Morgan Freeman. 34. Fashion police usually patrol the red carpet, not the weight room. A middle-aged woman complained that a younger girl's leggings were too distracting because they had a bright galaxy print. She argued that seeing a cosmic nebula moving up and down on the elliptical was giving her vertigo and posing a safety hazard to nearby seniors. She claimed the cosmic pattern was physically disorienting her plank. 35. Most people wear headphones, but this guy thought he was the entertainment. He filed a complaint after staff asked him to stop singing opera at the top of his lungs while deadlifting. He argued that belting out high notes helped him brace his core and that the other members should appreciate the free cultural experience. He thought the gym was his personal audition tape for America's Got Talent. 36. A new member demanded compensation because his shaker bottle leaked in his gym bag and he blamed the treadmill. He claimed the vibrations shook the lid loose, turning his protein drink into a locker room flood. He insisted the gym should replace his headphones and reimburse him for emotional damage from smelling like sour vanilla all day. He wanted the gym liable for physics doing its job. 37. Unassigned lockers operate on a first-come, first-served basis, but one regular member believed in the law of spiritual possession. He stormed the front desk demanding they cut the lock off locker 42 because another member had dared to use it. He claimed that because he had used that specific locker every Tuesday for 3 years, he had established implied ownership of the space. He wanted the gym to enforce squatters' rights for a metal box holding his dirty underwear. 38. Customer service is important, but this woman expected a red carpet rollout for her $20 monthly fee. She filed a formal grievance because the front desk staff didn't greet her with sufficient enthusiasm when she scanned her badge at 5 a.m. She claimed that the sleepy nod she received was a microaggression that ruined her motivation to exercise. She essentially expected the teenager at the front desk to act like a golden retriever every time she walked through the door. 39. Tell me you haven't met this girl. An aspiring fitness influencer filed a complaint against a member who had the audacity to walk through the background of her video. She wasn't renting a private studio. She was in the middle of the free weight section during peak hours with a tripod set up in the walkway. She demanded the gym set up filming zones where non-influencers were banned from entering. She genuinely believed her tripod had more legal standing in that gym than the paying members trying to walk past her. 40. Personal grooming belongs in your bathroom, but one man turned the sauna into his personal salon. Other members complained that he was fully lathered up and shaving his legs and back on the wooden benches. When staff confronted him about the hygiene violation, he argued that the steam opened his pores for a closer shave and that the gym was denying him full spa amenities. He treated the communal steam room like his private master bath, just with more unwilling spectators. 41. The Stairmaster is designed to be difficult, but one user felt it was a personal attack on his knees. He complained that the steps on the machine were unrealistically steep, compared to the stairs in his office building and demanded they be recalibrated to a gentler angle. He insisted that the machine was simulating a mountain climb when he only wanted to simulate walking up to the second floor of a department store. He basically wanted to climb Mount Everest without the inconvenience of gravity actually working against him. 42. Cancellation excuses are legendary, but this guy tried to use geography to outsmart the contract. He tried to cancel his membership without a fee by claiming he had moved to a location more than 25 miles away from the nearest branch. The address he provided was a tent in his parents' backyard, which was technically a separate dwelling, but still only 3 blocks from the gym. He was trying to use a camping trip as a legal loophole to get out of a contract. 43. Cleanliness is a priority until it inconveniences the serious lifters. A bodybuilder lodged a complaint against the cleaning crew for vacuuming the rubber mats while he was working out. He claimed the noise of the vacuum cleaner broke his mental connection with the iron and caused him to miss his personal record on the deadlift. He would rather work out in a dust bunny kingdom than endure the sound of hygiene for 30 seconds. 44. Swimming pools contain chlorine, a fact known to everyone except this outraged fashionista. She demanded the gym reimburse her for a $300 designer bikini that faded after she wore it in the lap pool 3 times a week. She argued that the gym used cheap chemicals that targeted expensive fabrics, refusing to accept that swimwear is not meant to last forever. She wore a delicate fabric into a vat of industrial chemicals and acted surprised when chemistry happened. 45. Intimidation usually comes from bullies, but this guy was intimidated by competence. He requested a new personal trainer because his assigned coach was too visibly fit, which made him feel bad about his own beer belly. He specifically asked management to find him a trainer who was soft around the edges, so he wouldn't feel judged during his sessions. He didn't want a fitness coach. He wanted a drinking buddy who occasionally pointed at a dumbbell. 46. Safety regulations require shoes, but one yoga enthusiast fought for his right to be barefoot in the weight room. He filed a discrimination complaint when staff told him he couldn't deadlift in his socks, arguing that shoes blocked the Earth's energy from entering his soles. He claimed that his socks had advanced grip technology that was superior to rubber soles. He effectively claimed his Hanes tube socks were OSHA-approved safety gear. 47. You know exactly who this is. A member was flagged for theft, but he argued he was just maximizing his membership perks. He was caught stuffing his gym bag with 20 clean towels from the dispenser to take home for the week because he didn't want to do laundry. His defense was that since the towels were complimentary, there was no limit on how many he could possess at one time. He treated the towel service like a Viking raid on a luxury hotel. 48. Cardio is boring, but one man blamed the gym for his lack of entertainment options. He was furious that he couldn't connect his phone to the gym's main speaker system to play the audio from the movie he was watching on his iPad. He argued that wearing headphones hurt his ears, and that the rest of the gym should be fine, listening to the dialogue of Die Hard while they worked out. He wanted to hijack the audio system for the whole cardio deck just to hear explosions. 49. Protein shakes are a staple, but one customer expected a culinary masterpiece from the front desk blender. He complained that the ice in his $7 smoothie wasn't crushed to a uniform consistency, leaving small chunks that offended his palate. He demanded a refund and a training session for the staff on proper blending techniques. He wanted the minimum wage smoothie bar to have the culinary standards of a Michelin star restaurant. 50. Gym etiquette dictates you shouldn't hog equipment, but one member believed in the ancient law of dibs. He filed a formal complaint because staff removed his towel from the bench press while he was gone. He wasn't in the bathroom or getting water. He had actually left the building to go to the food court next door for a protein smoothie. He genuinely argued that leaving his sweat-soaked rag on the vinyl constituted a binding reservation that should hold the machine for 45 minutes. He thought a dirty towel gave him diplomatic immunity over the bench press. 51. You would think working out requires movement, but one man filed a grievance against the gym for excessive vibration. He was trying to build a house of cards on the stretching mat, yes, actual playing cards, and kept getting frustrated when people dropping deadlifts caused his tower to collapse. He argued that the free weight zone should be a static environment to promote mental focus. He was trying to practice delicate architecture in a room specifically designed for dropping heavy metal. 52. Showers are a simple utility, but one woman expected a customizable spa experience. She complained that the water pressure in the locker room showers was violent and assaulting her skin. She wasn't claiming it hurt, but rather that it was washing off her expensive conditioner too quickly. She demanded the gym install pressure regulators so she could dial it down to a tropical mist setting. She wanted a shower that felt like a gentle summer rain, not a fire hose aimed at a riot. 53. Tell me you haven't met this hoarder. A guy was reported to management not for stealing weights, but for monopolizing them. He had surrounded his bench with 6 different pairs of dumbbells, ranging from 10 to 60 pounds, creating a small iron fortress around himself. When another member asked to borrow the 20s, the hoarder filed a harassment complaint, claiming he was in the middle of a giant set and couldn't be disturbed. He was building a private castle out of chrome and rubber to protect his ego. 54. Some people find reasons to be offended by anything, including the basic biological functions of others. A member wrote a scathing email complaining that the gym smelled like exertion. She wasn't pointing out a specific bad odor or a broken sewer line, but simply the collective scent of people breathing and moving. She suggested the gym ban sweating or pump the air full of industrial-strength vanilla perfume to match the reality of human effort. It's like walking into a fish market and complaining that it smells like the ocean. 55. Music fuels the workout, but one man launched a crusade against the gym's playlist. He demanded the staff turn off the high-energy hip-hop and instead play classical Mozart concertos because he claimed the bass interrupted his mind-muscle connection. He argued that Beethoven was scientifically proven to increase testosterone, unlike the top 40 hits they were streaming. He wanted to bench press 300 pounds to the soundtrack of an 18th century tea party. 56. Technology in the sauna is a recipe for disaster, but this guy blamed the heat, not his own stupidity. He filed a claim for property damage after his laptop overheated and died while he was using it inside the steam room. He insisted he was just trying to optimize his workflow, and that the gym should have posted a specific warning sign that electronics don't like 200 degrees of humidity. He baked his MacBook like a potato and tried to blame the oven for the outcome. 57. You know exactly who this is. A woman complained that her personal space bubble was being violated during peak hours. She wasn't being touched or harassed. She was simply angry that people were walking within 6 feet of her while she did walking lunges across the entire gym floor. She demanded the staff enforce a perimeter of respect around her moving workout. She basically wanted to annex half the gym floor as a sovereign nation for her legs. 58. Weight loss is the goal, but one member found a way to make it a liability. He threatened to sue the gym because he lost weight too effectively, which caused his expensive tailored suits to fit poorly. He argued that the personal trainer should have warned him that getting fit would have financial consequences for his wardrobe. He successfully did exactly what he paid to do, then tried to bill the gym for the consequences of his own success. 59. The television remote wars are legendary, but one member took it to a tactical level. He was banned for bringing his own universal remote from home to turn off the TV's broadcasting news channels he disagreed with. When caught, he filed a complaint stating that his visual peace was being disturbed by the headlines. He treated the public gym televisions like his personal living room setup, just with more strangers watching. 60. Validation is nice, but this client expected a paid cheerleader. She requested a refund for her personal training package because her trainer didn't compliment her outfit or her glow enough during the session. She claimed that his focus on reps and form felt cold and clinical, and she needed a coach who affirmed her lifestyle choices. She didn't want a fitness instructor. She wanted a best friend who charged $70 an hour. 61. Hydration is critical, but this guy treated the water fountain like his personal utility hookup. Other members complained because he would stand at the only bottle filling station for 5 minutes, filling up 4 separate 1-gallon jugs to take home. When asked to move, he argued that his membership included unlimited water, and he was just maximizing his return on investment. He wasn't hydrating. He was preparing for a doomsday drought at the expense of everyone else's thirst. 62. Beginner classes are supposed to be accessible, but one woman found even the basics to be false advertising. She filed a complaint that the restorative yoga class still required her to hold poses for more than 10 seconds, which she found stressful. She argued that a class labeled restorative should involve blankets, pillows, and absolutely no muscular engagement whatsoever. She wanted a yoga class that consisted entirely of lying on the floor and napping. 63. Interior design is usually not a deal-breaker, but one meathead filed a grievance about the color of the walls. He claimed that the light blue paint in the free weight area was a beta color that psychologically lowered his testosterone levels. He demanded the gym repaint the entire section in aggressive red or blackout charcoal to help him maintain his alpha mindset. He essentially needed a color palette that screamed roid rage just to finish his set. 64. We treat our pets like family, but this woman took the concept literally. She brought her Yorkshire Terrier to the gym and placed it on the treadmill next to her, setting it to a brisk walk. When staff frantically stopped her, she was outraged, claiming that since she paid for the family plan, her dog was entitled to cardio time. She genuinely thought her membership covered anyone or anything that licked her face. 65. You know exactly who this is. A veteran lifter complained that the cleaning staff was doing too good of a job. He argued that by sanitizing the barbells every night, they were removing the seasoning from the knurling, much like scrubbing a cast iron skillet. He claimed the accumulated chalk, sweat, and dead skin of 1,000 strangers provided a superior grip. He wanted the gym to preserve the bacterial history of the equipment for the sake of his deadlift. 66. Some people struggle to share, but this man believed he owned the very air in the room. He filed a complaint stating that the gym was overoccupied and that other members were consuming too much oxygen, making it hard for him to breathe during high-intensity intervals. He requested that the gym install oxygen masks at every station or lower the capacity so he wouldn't have to compete for air. He wanted a private air supply in a communal sweat box. 67. Weight loss journeys have a destination, but this guy thought he had reached the end of the road. He tried to cancel his contract with 0 fees because he had completed fitness. He argued that since he hit his goal weight, the gym was no longer necessary, like finishing a course of antibiotics. He genuinely thought fitness was a video game that you could beat once and then never play again. 68. Personal responsibility is rare, but this woman blamed the gym for her moral failings. She demanded a full refund of her year's dues because she had an affair with her personal trainer, and it ruined her marriage. She argued that the gym created a temptation-rich environment and failed to protect her from the trainer's abs. She essentially wanted the gym to be liable for her total lack of marital impulse control. And in 69, this is the holy grail of absurdity. A young man filed a lawsuit against a major gym chain for false advertising because, after 6 months of membership, he still didn't have a girlfriend. He cited the gym's commercials, which featured fit people flirting and smiling, as a binding promise that membership included romantic success. He honestly believed that paying $50 a month was a guaranteed receipt for a trophy wife. Here's the real test. Which one of these complaints would make you confront the person in the gym instead of minding your own business? Not online. Not in theory, in real life. Say the number in the comments and explain why. And if you watched all the way through, hit like, subscribe, and accept the uncomfortable truth that at some point, someone else has absolutely complained about you too.